Danny was in America. What else have we got?
When is that this song?
Disconnect. Chinese design.
Don't forget to put your video
Paper. This one's carbon. Ripstop. Modern Western materials. Jill is flying a very distinctive unicorn kite. A single model kite, as you can see, with wings over to the side. Very effective flapping unicorn. So there's more of the swallows coming out. Much lower down, we've got fighting with the low wind in ground level is another box kite derivative. This one's very special. There'll be some children in the audience who won't know what a red telephone box is, because they won't have seen it. But you can see the red telephone box just going up now. It's going to need a fair amount of breeze to find this one because of large areas of venting effectively. It's a very heavy kite, but absolutely beautiful. We're looking forward to seeing it. Get that above the tree, and we'll get that flying for you in a moment or two. Further around, very distinctive poster kite being flown by one of the guys from Team Spectrum. It's got a lion motive with a very long jumping tail.
Yeah, he's trying to get the time off.
There's a couple of poster kites there. The members of Spectrum fly. Once again, once we get past the low-level turbulent wind that's created by the trees behind us, there'll be very stable kites in the sky, so we'll look forward to seeing those.
Yeah, that's come down.
Or shaking the kite left to right quickly. This literally shakes the wind out of the sail, and the kite loses all its speed before eventually gravity or the wind catches up with the kite sail again and takes over. This trick is used as a start point for a number of other kites, and also the next trick, which is called an axle. With the axle, the kite is made to stop and float while rotating through 360 degrees. The kite is then made to fly off after completing the trick in either direction. There is then what is called a back flip, another trick used as part of more advanced tricks. The kite is made to flip on its back and lay horizontally. In the right wing conditions, the kite can float like this for some time. It can be flown or floated down to the ground or flipped back into normal flight. Or this maneuver can be used to lead into other tricks. There is then called the lazy Susan. This uses the previous backflip combined with an axle type spin while the kite laying on its back. The kite can then fly off after the rotation is complete or be spun round again for a multi-lazy. The next one is called fade. In this trick, the kite is made to fly upside down the wrong way round. Why, you may ask, again, is this used as part of more complex trick routines? In ideal conditions, usually with a smooth wind, especially those that come directly off the sea, the kite can stay floating in a fade for several minutes. A landing. Of course, we need to be able to land the kite when we've finished flying, or may just temporarily to answer your mobile phone. There are several methods to land, but here we will try the spin landing. The idea is to spin the kite fast. This disrupts the wind over the sail and causes the kite to lose height by adding some slack to the line. Then there is the half axle. Essentially half of an axle. This is a maneuver that reverses the kite's direction of flight. The kite begins to fly horizontally in either direction, then floats onto its belly, turning nose away from the pilot, and rotates 180 degrees. The kite is then snapped back into flight with the nose pointing exactly opposite. Let you do one more of that, Kevin.
And either this type of kite or very close to the kites that Stafford's going to fly for us today. So, Stafford, good morning. Lovely to see you here again. How are you doing today?
Doing fine. It's a bit cool, the wind's a bit bumpy, but we kite flyers always complain, you know.
That's right, the wind is either too strong or too cold or something. Now, Stafford, you've got with you a kite here. Can you just tell me a little bit, first of all, describe your kite to those people who might not be able to see it?
Okay, this is a traditional Indian kite. Traditional kites are normally made out of paper. The reason they're made out of paper is because the average life of a kite in India is about 3 minutes. So when I say average, I mean sometimes it's half a minute and sometimes it's 5. But the purpose of flying these kites is purely to hack each other's kites out all the time. So when you're flying off the rooftops in India, there are hundreds and hundreds of kites around, and it's anybody goes for anybody. So if you put your kite up, you might not get half a minute before somebody's hacked it out of the sky. And of course when it's hacked, it's not yours anymore and somebody else catches it and keeps it. So when I say average, we go on the roof with about 20 or 30 kites, and at the end of the day, they're all gone. So paper is cheaper and affordable. So the kite that I'm flying is made out of mylar, but I will use a paper kite later on today when the weather is a bit better. But the paper kites, they're cheaper and people lose them and they don't mind. There's a kind of a psyche in India, which is that we fly our kites knowing we're not going to bring them back. And I find in the West when people fly kites and their kite is cut, I see sort of a hurt look come over their faces. Well, somebody cut my kite, you know. But actually, that is what it's meant to happen. And if you can imagine a city where there's lots of roofs and temples and mosques and even a church and a hotel and everything, there are kites zooming all over the place. And when your kite is cut, forget about this green field over here, there's a massive houses, so when it's cut, you can't even see where it's gone, and there are lots of people chasing it to catch it and keep it. So they are fighting kites, and they are used with a line that's These are single line kites which are maneuvered on one line, and the question everybody asks is, how do you maneuver it on one line? Well, it's done by pulling and letting. So I launch this kite, you just let down. Now, I lift up tension and the wind stabilizes the kite. I want to do something, I let out line, the kite is unstable. I want to go to the left, I pull when it's pointing to the left. I want to go to the right, I pull when it's pointing to the right. I want to go down, I pull, let out line, and that stops. So the whole kite is controlled by pulling and letting. Very hard. Normally you take your reel into this ground when you fly with 2 hands. The ground is so hard, I don't push my reel in there. Thank you, Darren. So, I'm going to just play around and maneuver this kite and then we'll do a few things with it. So look, I'm pulling. When it goes down like that, I let out line and that stops. So it's purely pulling and letting. So when I let out line, it spins. So if you see that kite now, it's spinning anti-clockwise. I'll change direction and spin it clockwise. Now it's spinning clockwise. I'll change direction anti-clockwise. Clockwise. Strong, Darren. I had a bit of a jump of that. I'm going to go the other side of it because I lost the line. Go on.
Oh, Gary, turn him over, let him go and then leg it out.
Okay, we're going to have a little go with this. And hopefully we can manage it this time. Keep the kite very upright. Go higher, let us go. Okay, now I'm going to go and slice this kite now. There I go. I've sliced it. I don't know where the line is, I'm having a go at it. I'm spinning my kite around, hoping I've caught it. I'm still spinning, trying to trap the line. I think I've caught it now. Okay? That is how we catch kites in India. So you catch the kite, and in India, when you've caught it, you've got to bring it in very quickly because everybody goes for you. When you've got two kites, they go and try and catch it. And flying two kites is a totally different exercise altogether because they're both on the one line. So sometimes if one kite dies, you have to think about which one you're flying. So when I was catching that kite, the blue one dived down and I had to control that. So see the blue one diving down, I abandoned the gold one and I concentrate on the blue one. So it's you actually like bring this one in. You can see all the line is on here. Trying to get this line on. So what I've got over here is about 3 or 4 kites. And if there are any children who would like to catch one of these kites for free, we're going to fly them and we're going to snap the line, and as the kite goes downwind, if you wanted the kite, then you should catch it downwind.
Whether they're made by that company or not. And left's up right on the far side where the Essex flyers are. So we'll bring them over nearer to the public on this side of the field. And very distinctive shape of kite, a revolution quad kite. These are all pretty much the same, with a very long straight edge at the front. That's the leading edge. That's the way the kite flies. And then you've got the really wide bitted, and effectively you've got 2 kite shapes sewn together in the middle. And the way these kites work is by twisting your wrist. So 4 control lines go down to 4 points of the hands, 2 individually. But by tipping your hands forwards or backwards, by twisting your wrists, you create a propeller shape on the kite. Subtle, but it's a propeller shape. And so if you put your thumbs to your right foot backwards, it'll spin to the right. If you put your left thumb backwards, it spins to the left. And then everything is balanced into those positions. And so you can see these kites can hover in the sky. They can fly backwards, which is towards that V shape. You see demonstrated by this magnificent samurai revolution kite, the rising sun motif in the middle. So there's your spin. We can take it right to the top of the sky, dive in the ground, and stop centimetres from the floor. Joe Hadziki and his brother David, and still made by that company today. The design pretty much hasn't changed in those 25 years. It's got maybe slightly bigger versions, smaller versions, but the principle has remained the same. So to fly these kites, you're going to take maybe a little bit longer to learn how to control them than you would a dual line kite. But then once you have mastered the basic control, you've got a lot more opportunities than you do with, say, the dual line kite. Unless, of course, you go into the full Star Trek flying that we saw, for example, using the sea level. So these revs are very controllable. Now I'm in the black jacket, these trousers, and I'm going to go and stand underneath this red black fluorescence. And we're going to see if, it's a bit of a challenge, we're going to see if we can get this guy to land on my hand. Now, he's about 5 centimetres too far away, here he comes in here. And so the tip is about 1 centimetre square, my hand's about 10 centimetres square. And with precision control, this is quite tricky because the ground is very, very high. kite. It's about there. Come towards me and put it down. Comes. There you go. Very easy. If it gets in the ground, of course. What you're doing is essentially mine's not this good. There aren't very many people in the country that I would trust to do this. He's not one of them. You're going to know. You're about 2 metres too far away. He's going to gradually walk towards me, and that brings the kite closer. He's got great skill there. Just to drop it down just there, perfectly to the centre of my palm. Brilliant shot there. So you can see these kites very, very controllable. And the way you generally show that control is by flying more than one together in a team formation. And maybe we'll get that going for you a little bit later on this afternoon. So there are other types of quad kites available to you. The Revolution is the first and is the main brand, a bit like the Apple product. There are other companies now making them in China, and Albatross and various other kite companies. The kites are a lot